G'day fellas, and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the north side of the map in the color yellow, playing as the Malians. We've got weird pathing. A lovely name, a lovely philosophy on pathing. And I'm sure a pretty competent player. This guy currently sitting at around rank 40 on the ladder. Pretty darn high. We'll take a look on the south side of the map because, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce playing as the Mongols. In the color teal. Teal. He is back again. You would have seen him in the recent game we did on Hideout. He played as red. Well, this game he's playing as teal. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got today. Once again, another really good player, top 20 player. And we've got an interesting opening here. So Mongols up against Malians. A pretty decent matchup for the Mongols, or at least that's the philosophy that I've got. I haven't really seen a way that Malians can counter it that well. I mean, we have been seeing a lot of Donzo play. By the way, I don't think we've ever seen this before. A single straggler tree. An uvu. A dream. I do like it, though. It's actually pretty cute when you think about it, right? Because you can just send your villagers straight away to a tree. And look at that. And he drops down the barracks. So nice and easy for him there. And then I guess he just heads back over here and starts working on the trees back on that side. So nice little moves coming out already from Teal. Really cool stuff. Now, before we get into it, let's take a little bit of a break right now just to tell you about the Patreon. Are you keen to get better at Age of Empires 4? Are you interested in watching someone else get coached or getting some one-on-one coaching for yourself? If so, check out the Patreon, where you can find dozens of coaching videos where I personally guide players through the process of improvement, with new videos being added every single week. With coaching for all skill levels and for all civilizations, there's something for everyone. Now, when it comes to my credentials, while I might not be the Red Bull Wallalol champion, I'm still a pretty decent skill level, sitting at the Conqueror 3 ranking for 1v1. So if you are interested in some coaching, make sure you check out the Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description. Now let's get back to the action. So I think the big thing in this matchup is going to be largely about how much damage can actually be done to the Malian player. Because the Mongols, they start off with that barracks, they start off with that early aggression, and look to try and siege down as much of the Malian base as they can. Now, of course, there are some buildings which aren't going to be in range of the siege. Most notably, these houses on the inside, because even if you do start to siege them down, well, a villager can just come out and start repairing, and it's very easy for them to try and bait you back towards the town center, especially when you're gathering with so many villagers under it like this. But we do also note that there's only a 4-house opening, so this should be pretty quick to age up for weird pathing. A lot quicker than, you know, your 6-house opening. I think I also saw a 7-house opening, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. Now, of course, we are also on Lipany, and sometimes on Lipany, you don't get the best trading post spawns, and this is a doozy right here. A terrible trading post spawn for both players. It is on the side of the map. It is in the middle of the map. It is terrible, right? Like, if you're playing the Mongols, how do you even deal with this, right? You're going to have to trade across like this. And I think, like, realistically, you could probably get away with putting your trading post up in this corner. I just realized we've got to switch these bad boys around because we've got some age ups coming through. But I guess you could put, like, your market in this corner and then trade over to the trading post here. It's actually probably going to net you a lot. But it's very difficult to defend, right? Like, you would much rather just go down to this point because then you've got a whole section of map that you need to start now challenging and defending that you shouldn't have had to have done. But we do see a very quick age up coming through. Look how quick this age up is from weird pathing. Saharan Trade Network, and he's actually going to be pulling additional vills here. Is this the ultimate Mongol counter strategy? You know, we were talking about it a little bit earlier. I got to get myself a little picture of that right there. Villager also getting pulled to repair this bad boy up. Let's remove all the UI. Get it out of here, Drongo. Just show us the good stuff, and you can see right now, we got a bald spearman coming in. Look out. It is to Muslims up here with the spear at the moment. You know what? He's got a little bit on top right there, so we'll allow it for now. But I'm liking this opening, right? Because this just shuts down the Mongol player. It just says, well, look, there's no chance that you're doing any damage here. It's not happening. And I think that's super duper cool because by that extra speed that we've got coming through from our age up means that it's denying a significant portion of the options available here to the Mongol player. So this is going to be covering the house, kind of actually. You know what? You can probably still get that house in because, yeah, I think that house actually might be dead. So where does weird pathing go from here? Because, you know, we've talked about it before. When it comes to the trading, it's obviously going to be an option, but it's always something that you can just kind of leave as a flex. And I think this is possible for Mongols as well. We've seen players look to go for Silver Tree and then just always just kind of leave it as a flex. It's like, I can trade in the future, but I'm not going to start trading right now. So we might potentially see players both trading. We might potentially see neither player trading. But take a look at that. I saw an arrow go in. Oh, I think the arrow was for the spearman that came in. Now, is this line deceptive right now? Because I feel like you could probably attack from over on this side, but you just never know with these lines. Archery range now coming up for Widpathing as well. Now, I think the question is, does he look to go for a quick castle age? One of the things we've been seeing, popular Malian player do quite effectively is heading up to the castle age. Of course, I'm talking about Salami. And he looks to try and get a really quick castle age in. But Widpathing here having to drop down. You guys see that? You guys see that? He dropped the deer stones and then he's like, actually, I'm just going to go for the silver tree. I love this. Trade is becoming such an important part of Age of Empires 4. And so it should be, right? Like, think about it, right? It's an important part of this game. At least it should be. It's been a mechanic that's existed now for, well over a year now, for the entire release of the game. And it's never really played an important part other than post-imp, throwing down a couple of markets in a corner and just trading, securing that gold income when you've got no other choice. But here we see players opting for it very early on. And I love it. I love it. It spices things up because as soon as you start trading, you make a claim. You make a claim. If you don't shut me down in 5 minutes, boy, I'm going to clean this game up. And that's exactly what we see players do. And it causes a lot of action across map. So I think it's a super cool mechanic. And I love seeing more of it. But now we've got a couple of archers out. These guys are going to be able to hold the line for the moment. Being very annoying to the Khan. Another outpost coming up. Donzo going to be here just in case any Mongol players get any idea about making some sort of cavalry. Yeah, I'm talking to you right now, Teal. I know who you are. I know what your plan is. It's cavalry. Unfortunately, a single Donzo should be more than enough to deal with. Even probably 2 horsemen you wouldn't want to fight up against a Donzo. They're kind of mean, right? Like menacing units. And now actually going straight after the villager here. Keep in mind, he's also got the charge that he can use whenever he's not fighting. But now those archers are going to push up, and they might actually get the pick right here, which is going to shut down any kind of potential push that happens other than what's already happened. So there it goes. And now look at this. Walls beginning to come up for Widpathing. Looking to create weird situations for his enemy units to path through. Look at this, almost intently moving up. Now over towards this west side. The horseman. And what was the name of that tree? Did you guys see that? Gutta percha tree. That is a dead gutta percha tree if I've ever seen one. Looks like the villager is going to get spotted out here. Let's see if Teal actually does anything about it. Widpathing also realizes arrow slit's going to be coming through. This pit mine getting shut down completely. And a single Donzo chasing away the Khan and the horseman. Mill coming up over on this west side as well. So interesting opening here from Widpathing. A very heavy focus on the feudal age, which isn't something that we see a lot. A little bit of a quick wall coming in. Is he going to make it in time? I don't think he will. And as a result, you can see the villager backing off. Probably the smart move, right? Even if you go in there, you want to just keep that villager alive. You don't really care about the Khan it respawns. The two horsemen. I mean, he paid stone for one of them. So you ideally just don't want that. We'll scout out the deer stones though, or rather the silver tree though, with the scout. So Widpathing well and truly aware what his enemy may be up to. Now he's got 2 options when it comes to trade. This is probably the better option, at least for the moment, right? There's going to be a point in the game where you want to kind of switch these guys around, but I don't think we've reached that point just yet. Looks like an archery range is going to come up, so we might be in for a bit of a longer feudal here. I say that with 5 villagers on gold though for our Mongol player. Take a look at that. The wall might go down here, but he does move forward, looking to repair it. Gets it straight through. There's no chance of that one going down, at least not for the moment. Villager getting kind of focused by the Khan, but he's just going to fall back from that position. So slowly and steadily, Widpathing is going to be securing up his base against the Mongols, which is definitely something that you want to be doing. Really, really important to do. I'm really loving the adaptation of trade coming through. And it looks like he's going to be going for the safer trade route rather than the not safer. But to be honest, I kind of feel like this trade route here is actually pretty safe. I mean, there's a wall here, right? And that automatically tells you, hey, I don't want to fight over here, and I don't want you to fight over here. So when that gate goes up, it's kind of like, well, I've got a bit of flexibility now, but you want to kind of avoid it. So I'd be surprised to see any presence over here from Widpathing, but he has scouted out the silver tree. Trader's going to be coming in. 55 gold, ain't terrible. He's got outposts along the trade line, right? Which is also going to be giving him a little bit of extra movement speed, which means that he's getting faster, and village is actually getting pulled here. Probably the right decision. I think initially I'd be hesitant to pull the villagers, but it kind of makes sense, right? Because how many villagers is he losing though? That's 1 villager going down. 1 villager goes down, guaranteed. There might be a few more in there. We do see working kills actually rising to 4 now, so looks like 3 vills did go down. Well, that's painful, isn't it? I'm not sure where that first villager went. Maybe all 4 villagers went down. If that's the case, if he lost 4 vills for clearing that outpost, not worth it at all. Just make a couple more Donzos. It's probably more worth it. Just because the amount of resources you're losing out from those guys, you're losing out 160 resources a minute now because of that. Southside Scout fighting out and discovering exactly what his enemy's up to. The reality is not a whole lot, just taking deer. So he's going to fall back for the moment. But we'll spot these traders, or at least should spot these traders on the way back up. Keep in mind, there is the YAM network providing that boost. Now, obviously, he didn't go for the landmark that provides YAM network to units other than cavalry, but the trader is technically a cavalry unit, even though it doesn't get counted by spearmen. It's in a bit of a weird state at the moment. You can pull that boar. That boar could be really annoying if you wanted to. But yeah, this is kind of interesting, right, with traders, because the counter to traders used to be spearmen. You just bring like 3 spearmen in, and they would one-shot a trader. But you can't do that anymore. Yet still, they do get the buff from the outpost, because they are technically cavalry. Oh, actually, you know what? It says cavalry and traders near an outpost gain 15% move speed. You could probably just remove that tag then. Why do we even need that tag? Maybe that's just left over. Maybe it's the description, right? Like, it's editable. Editable? It's edible. You can eat it. You can eat it. You can edit it just like you can anything else within the game, right? Like, I could change the name of the Gur to Guralicious if I wanted to. I'm not going to, but I could. And I think that they might just, like, do that individually there, like work a cavalry. Because that tag has no actual, like age 2 defensive landmark. It doesn't have any bearing on anything, right? Just because that's the name, like that's just the code behind the scene is what attributes those certain tags. But anyway, that's my TED talk on development, game development specifically. Thank you for coming. Let's get back to the game. At the moment, I mean, Weird Pathing going to be clicking up. I suspect Farimba Garrison. You would almost certainly assume Farimba Garrison there. Doesn't really seem to be any love for the Big Cow landmark at the moment. Of course, I'm talking about the Grand Fulani Corral, also known as the Big Cow landmark. Now, one thing to note is that the Saharan Trade Network, it looks very menacing, but don't be fooled by its menacing looks. It doesn't do much damage, right? It's the Saharan Trade Network. It just does 10 bow damage. You can't put a springwood in it. You can't put a cannon emplacement in it. I mean, it's basically a barbican, but worse. But it also just gives a really good bonus for trade. So there is that as well. But looks like we got a bit of a counterattack coming through. Teal going to have to come down to this bottom side. Now, keep in mind that everything was up here, right? Well, at least all the cavalry. So half of the kitchen. Not quite the kitchen sink, though. And as a result, plenty of units going to get shut down here. But look at the difference between these two players. 57 economic units. So quite a lead that was built up here. Obviously, these traders, they're traveling a little bit faster than your normal traders. So it's hard for me to calculate where the value is. Because normally the value breaks even at about 78 gold, I think it is, for being the equivalent of a villager. So they're quite a little bit below that, but with the extra movement speed, which is 15%, you would have to assume that it's probably around that 65 range. So they're getting close to it. And then, of course, because they're carrying wood and gold, that number goes up even further. And they'll get stone eventually, I think, in the Imperial Age. That one comes through. But nice aggression coming out from Weird Pathing. Definitely hitting the right side. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the trading post come up. But look at this, Weird Pathing just all over it right now. Not quite patrolling, but still aware. Let's just put it that way. Age up comes through now. Weird Pathing going to be on the defensive. Needs to make sure he keeps these forces alive. Doing a good job of just keeping back the horsemen for now. Donzo's are pretty decent here. You can see the way that he's microing is losing quite a bit. Javelin thrower is going to be coming out, looking to focus down the Khan. What's happening behind this though? What's the option that we've got from the Farimba Garrison? It looks like it's going to be javelin throwers, so definitely the right choice here. Javelin thrower is going to be effective against both of these units, even though technically it's countered by horsemen. It's got a lot of damage, so you can one-shot them. Once you got, I think, about like 10 javelin throwers, you're in a really good spot. Maybe a bit more, maybe like 15 javelin throwers to one-shot a horseman, but it's pretty good. They do a lot of damage. Javelin throwers now coming out. Suspect Weird Pathing will fall back from this position. Military advantage slightly in favor of our Mongol player, as well as that economic difference. The main difference right now that we've got between them is the tech advantage, obviously going over to Weird Pathing, which means that in addition to having a tech advantage, is also going to have those upgrades coming through. At the moment, only the feudal age upgrades are in, but we do finally see that it's going to be veteran javelin throwers on the way in for him. 9 javelin throwers at the moment. More on the way. Going to be up to a beautiful number, 14. Look at the traders coming out at the moment. Huge amount of traders. I'd really love to see him trading up towards this position. The numbers gets crazy, but now we got a Kurultai. Hold the horses, ladies and gentlemen. never mind. It's a separate route. I did see Kurultai for the blink of an eye. Now, this is the part that always gets me, right? I love to talk about this. Whenever we have a person who's trading like a madman on the Mongols, I get super excited because we might actually see a Kurultai come out one day. But we don't. We see a step redoubt. Now, what does this step redoubt do? Does anyone know? Anybody in the class right now know? Correct. 50% to gold gathering for your step redoubt. Now, what am I gathering with all my traders right now? And look how many traders I've got, right? There's no shortage of trade. Look at 27 of the baddest traders in the world. I'm making a solid 300 gold a minute. Is that all? You know what? Maybe the step redoubt's not bad. That's not a lot of gold. I was expecting big things, right? 28 traders on gold. I'm like, yeah, this is going to be insane, guys. Check this out. It is not. It is not insane. Yeah, it's not pretty. I really feel like not enough players are shifting where their markets are, right? Like, we need to be seeing him building a market in this corner and setting the home rally point up here. The main problem he's got is because he's playing Mongols, he can't put walls up. And you might not think that's a big deal, but actually you can use walls to control where your traders go. So let's say you've got a trade post up here and you want to trade to this corner. Well, you don't want them to go around this side of the tree line, because if they do go around this side of the tree line, they're going to be a lot more exposed. You want them to go on the inside, but you can't do that because they go as the bird flies. So what you do is you come in, draw a nice little wall around here. You could probably even just draw a wall from like here over across and you'll be fine. And then that's going to force them to come around the back there. You can't do that with the Mongols. So right now his trade could be getting intercepted had it been going up all that way. Whereas right now it's kind of safe on the backside. You can see he's actually, it looks like he might have moved. Yeah, I think he's moved the silver tree a little bit because he doesn't have the trade going through this way. I think it was before, where was the Uvu? I mean, the Uvu wasn't right there. I don't know how he got them to switch around, but he's doing the right thing. Let's just put it that way. Oh, you can see actually a couple of them are coming through. Oh, because he's put down a new market. But now because he's put down the new market, they're a bit more exposed. 125 gold. That's getting better. That's getting better. Now we're starting to talk about some serious numbers here. The main issue that Teal's going to have is that all of a sudden his trade line is getting a lot worse than before. That's why we talk about, you know, whether you got good trading trade posts or not. Numbers are looking good for Weird Pathing. He's got superior numbers here. 55 versus 31 here. At the same time on the front line, we've got horsemen. Those are not knights. They're not lancers. Don't get excited. The Donzo's going to clean them up completely. Javelin throwers on the back line. Just absolutely uncontested. And traders just running in right now. But he's holding on. He's holding on. The Donzo numbers, they're quite strong. But still, it's actually looking for, you know, never mind. He's not holding on at all. Weird Pathing is absolutely crushing him right now. And surely this villager lead is going to start closing. I guess is the villager gap is going to start closing, I suspect. Yeah, I mean, he's up to 2,000 gold a minute, right? Like, and that's the difference between 55 gold a minute and then, what was it, 120 gold a minute or something like that. And we do see the traders now. Oh, thank God. Thank the Lord Jesus. He has finally done it. He's doing the right thing here. As long as these go the right way. Hopefully they come around the backside and not the front side. We'll have to watch and see how that happens because he's going to be under pressure. Main town center going to be getting focused down. Javelin throwers losing out to the men-at-arms and the knights, but he's got to be careful. Donzo's coming in, looking to help out a brother. Archers all going down here. He's only got a handful of units. Our Mongol player going to be holding on for dear life, but chasing away the javelins towards the north. Needs to avoid the Donzos. Gets pincered. He gets skewered. He gets taken out. And with that, Weird Pathing not going to be experiencing any Weird Pathing underneath this town center because it's only his units. So he doesn't have to worry too much, but more and more units rallying in from the Malian base at the moment. Traders going to be coming down to that bottom corner. 211 gold for our Mongol trader. And you can see that they are actually pathing the correct way. Going to be coming around the backside. So as long as he can survive here, that's going to be the main issue. And look at him. He's trying his best to survive right now. Score difference, not a huge amount. In fact, Weird Pathing actually behind on score by 100 points. There's really not much for him here. More villagers heading up towards the north. We might have a Mongol movement coming through. Do we have a Mongol migration? Is this it? Is this the great migration? Look at the damage that hits that men-at-arms. He's got +2 ranged armor, and he's still getting absolutely destroyed. That javelin thrower doing so much and now picking up the +2 upgrade as well. Look at him focus down these lancers. So much damage. The javelin throw is crazy for these castle pushers. Look at the way that he focuses down. Weird Pathing. I tell you what, you might have Weird Pathing, but you got amazing micro here. Focusing down all the crossbows. It's not even close. Why are we making crossbows against units that aren't armored? That is my main question. But the lancers, they're managing to come through, and now the trader's going to be exposed. He's going to be clicking on those and going, oh God, that's a lot of gold coming in right now. But it looks like the Mongol player might be holding on right now. A new Khan has risen, and a new Khan has fallen. It's a classic case of the king is dead, long live the king. But look at this. Teal holds on a little bit longer. A lack of Musafati here might be the reason why Teal was able to hold on. And hopefully if Teal is reading the room, he'll know how important it is to start getting some archers in. Maybe even look to get some outposts along here. Hey, have a look at this gold per minute. You guys want to see something cool? 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200. Let's go to 1,500, 1,480, 16, 19. I can't count that high. But now Musafati coming in. Fortunately, using the charges on the Musafati, that is definitely the right choice. You want to eat through these guys first. They're going to be doing so much damage. Gold's up to 4,400 a minute, 4,800 a minute, and this is why we trade to the corner, ladies and gentlemen, and not over here to these little weird little spots where we trade to our Uvu because it's convenient rather than decent. Musafati frontlining here doing a great job. Look at the way they cut through those men-at-arms. I mean, he's got two units that kind of cut through the armor of the men-at-arms, the javelin thrower and the Musafati. He just continues rallying out, but now a second town center going to be coming down for him as well. So looking to deal with enemy trade by having multiple aspects, right? He's looking at focusing on the economy as well as idling out the traders where possible. Still yet to actually go for any trade himself, though, which is interesting. This outpost is going to be doing a decent job of defending any potential trade. I do see villagers moving out to the mill. But javelin throwers having a really nice time here on the backside. Look at this. Just uncontested on the back. Beautiful micro coming out from Weird Pathing. He is really owning this name, isn't he? Like, his name is Weird Pathing. But to me, this is all intended, right? Like, this is how it functions. Musafati, get in there, boys. Actually, get in there, girls. Sorry. Get in there, girls. It's time right now for you to make your entrance. And he still just focuses down the archers. Such wonderful micro. And it's in these skirmishes, okay? I shouldn't call these a skirmish because it's been going on for so long. But this is where the javelin thrower really excels, right? Like, this is the strongest it will be. Once you start getting super high numbers of these bad boys, it makes it much harder to micro. But you can see he's splitting so well, so effectively. Just camping on top of the production right now. And I almost feel like our Mongol player is going to move his production under the town center so he can at least defend it. Because he's just having a terrible time here. I mean, but even if you move it, then maybe you just never get it back up. And look at all the production that he's got. 5 archery range, 6 archery ranges. Quadruple barracks. Stables out the wazoo. Down to -1 gold. I don't even know how you get -1 gold a minute. It's actually on 4 gold. It's not a lot. He's spending like crazy, though, that gold that came through. It was like 5k gold that came through in the blink of an eye. Obviously, for him to get over here, it's a little bit different. But look at this. Outpost is going to be coming up on that big gold. Over on that western side. And now he's going to have real trouble because these traders need to come through, and he's actually switched their position. He says, you know what, just bring it over here, guys. It's fine. But now the Musafati on the front line. Going to be looking to hold on a little bit longer. Men-at-arms coming through. Archer numbers on the back. He can't build up archer numbers at all. He's holding on for his life. Weird Pathing with triple the amount of units inside the Mongol base now. Keep in mind, behind this, he's also adding in more economic abilities. Economic abilities? More economic buildings. Let's go with that. Town centers. Finally coming out for him. Looks like the outpost did go through. Step Redoubt moving up here as well. Not moving into a sprinkled emplacement, at least not just yet. The javelin thrower is still standing strong. Look how much damage they do. Sniping out all the enemy units. Now, I want to take a look and see at the blacksmith. I think it's at the blacksmith. Let's take a look. He doesn't actually... Oh, never mind. It's Imperial Age. I thought this was a Castle Age upgrade, but I guess they must have changed it, or maybe I'm just crazy. I think it's probably the latter. It's unlikely they'd change anything like that. So now he just kind of camps production, and that's it, right? Like, this is the key to winning this type of matchup, is you want to camp the production. Villagers, looking for a little bit of a maul on the enemy. Gonna find it. Looking like a shopping center right now. But still, the gold is won. Right? Like, the Mongol player... Oh, we don't actually see him fortifying the outpost. Now going for the sprinkled emplacement, but I feel like it might be too late. Mongol players should be able to retain that gold. Villagers will burn through. Sure, there's 5 enemy villagers inside the outpost, but as long as that outpost goes down, he will be able to hold the gold. Look at this quintuple outpost coming down right now for Weird Pathing. And now he finds that market over on the west side. Not a whole lot of traders, though, honestly. Only 22. And these guys aren't pulling in the best numbers. Where do you go from here? How do you deal with this combination from the Malians? Because it's just non-stop pressure. This whole game has just been non-stop pressure in the Mongol base. I don't know about you guys, but I would be just so I would be pulling my hair out, right? Like, I can deal with a spearman, a single spearman on my gold mine. That's fine. But these units have been in this base now for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's been non-stop. It's every day, bro. I'm channeling one of the Pauls. I don't know which one because I don't really care that much about them, but it's one of them. I just know they've got a song about it's every day, bro. And so that's where the reference comes in, but not a huge fan of the Paul brothers. I mean, if you are, whatever floats your boat. I'm more interested in mature content, though. Not adult content, that's different. Mature content. Outpost push continuing to come through. Look at the spring emplacements coming through. He's got emplacements on almost all of these. Only the 2 on the back don't have them. I love the way that he's moving forward. He's like, come on, let's try it. He does have another gold on the backside. Does he know about this gold? Because I feel like, wouldn't you just go for this gold? Why are you going to fight so hard for this one? If it's that important to you. Market going to go down. And with that, traders going to be left without a home until the silver tree decides to provide it for them. This is a nice move, actually. This is good. This is good for Teal. Finding a way back into the game. Looking to pick up reinforcements here. Loving this play from him. Musafati getting crushed completely. And now, speaking of getting crushed completely, watch out, traders. It is an absolute... I'm not going to say the word, but it's... there's a lot of military units killing civilian units. Let's just put it that way. They are all dead. They're all dead, John. Every single one of them. Every last one. And he does manage to get the villagers back over here. Definitely the right play. And now really looking to try for a counter push here. Relic's also getting picked up right now by weird pathing. He's playing very solid. Honestly, I'm loving his position in this game. Villager's going to be moving back towards that north side. Sprinkle emplacement. Oh no, the Gur. Oh no. Okay, he picks up. Okay, he picks up. Good job, good job. Sieging down farms. Interesting decision. Sprinkle emplacements. Probably the weirdest tower push I've ever seen. But respect anyway. And now beginning to siege down the production facilities. Javelin throws. You know what would have gone really well here? Can I just say? A mangonel. Like a single mangonel would have changed the way this game is played. Just got like mangonel with archers. And it seems kind of weird, right? But the archers kill the Musafati. They block for the mangonel. Why not just like one mangonel? I feel like that's the combo breaker because you've been fighting, you've been trying your hardest to make something work. And it's just so hard. Archery range coming down again. I mean, can we see a siege workshop, please? Can we see a siege workshop? Just a little bit of siege. It'll take it so far. Villages everywhere on this map right now. This is chaotic. He is just in your base, killing your dudes non-stop. This truly is a beautiful way to play Malians. I'm loving it. I'm loving the non-stop pressure. But I'm starting to feel right now for our Mongol player. Because to me, it seems like the answer to this question is so simple. I mean, it's only taken me 27 minutes to work it out, but... I'm reminded of that meme. It's like when you look upon somebody who's still making the mistake that you just learned to solve, like yesterday, and you're like, huh, absolute amateur. Like, it's so simple. It's so simple. It's like, it just came to me like 20 seconds ago, and I'm like, oh, come on, man, it's so obvious. It's so obvious if you know the answer, but if you don't, I mean, you're just kind of stuck. And I think finally we see it coming down. There we go. Teal working it out. He says, oh, that's right. Wait a minute. Infantry kind of suck against Mangonel, and he does it immediately. Wonderful job right there. Finally. I feel like I'm coaching in real time right now, but I'm not. I can tell you that much. There's a 5-minute delay on this game. So it is well and truly in the future. But you know what? I did know about the Mangonel 5 minutes ago. Actually, it probably wasn't. It was probably closer to like 4 minutes ago. Damn, that Mangonel comes out so fast. What the hell? It only takes 30 seconds to make a Mangonel. He must have siege engine, or yeah, he's got it. Never mind. That does affect siege. What's it called? Military production? Military school? Military academy. There we go. We got it. In the end, we got it. Nice little trade coming in. What numbers is he pulling for this trade in the corner? I think it's like around 60-ish, which isn't terrible. That wolf is quite annoying, and he does pull down an archer, a villager to deal with it. Gur still over here getting attacked. Numbers looking pretty solid at the moment for Mongols. And look at this, he's managed to pick it up. But look at the villager pop. That's the difference, right? Mangonel shot. Boom, 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 boom. Take him out, boys. The villager difference is coming through massively right now. And our Mongol player has just been dealing with the enemy units in his base. Not really booming. Has been dealing with the massacre from before. But now finally pushing ahead. Looking to try and use some of that resource that he's got in his bank. I'd love to see improved siege engineering coming out from him. Make some mangonels on the front line. Get some of those traction trebs rolling out here. Hopefully he's got more mangonels coming up the rear. Battering ram. I don't know how I feel about that. Do we have... I don't know whether we've got improved siege engineering, but I know we've got, at the very least, siege engineering. And you... What was that? What was that? What was that? I heard it. I don't see it, but I hear it. Was it just the step redoubt moving? It might have just been the step redoubt or like the Mongol town center moving or something. It goes for a battering ram. And I gotta be honest, I kind of like this late battering ram. I feel like battering rams are pretty underused in the late game, and that might be just because they've got not a lot of upgrades to really help them. They've got, what's their upgrade? Geometry, I think, affects battering rams. I know it's trebuchets and battering rams. I'm pretty sure it is. Which is kind of, like, sure, but it's not a whole lot. And keep actually going to be going down. It appears Lord Doubt is smiling upon this keep today. Weird pathing. Going to be making a bit of a weird keep here. Weird decision on the keep. And indeed, it does go down. Cancels the keep. Not going to be holding on to this town center. Javelin throwers. Musofati coming around the outside. Around the outside. And looking to try and distract away from the Mongols. Honestly, if I'm playing Mongols right now, I'm like, all right, you want a base race? Like, bet. Let's go. Let's go. Let's actually do it. Because I've got a silver tree in this corner. I got a step out in this corner, and I got a town center here. Like, good luck catching them all. And you just go kill his landmarks right now. But there is a keep coming up in the main town center. If you want a base race, like, we can do it. And just buy a whole bunch of wood, drop like 12 rams, and just go for it. And kill everything. And then rebuild your army with the bounty that you get from killing his base. He's really committing. Weird pathing is over on this east side. We might have a bit of a base race on our hands. He's going to take out the mosque here as well. No more passive income. Could also look to pick up these relics. Actually, I don't know if he'd be able to. It's kind of getting covered by the toll outposts. Oh, it's going to be close though. And now there's Musafati moving into the production. A mangonel or two might change that. Actually, you know what? Musafati kind of crushed the mangonel. But look how clumped they are. One mangonel. Oh my lord, could you believe it? Could you imagine that? Keep has gone up. Plenty of units, well, plenty of villagers back here. Looks like he's also gone into cows, interestingly. Something we don't see every single day. So he's on 100 economic pop. But also got the cows. Important to consider. And look at this, sieging down the base. It's literally a base race. The base race is here. And honestly, I do prefer the Mongols here. As long as more rams come, I would just be selling, or rather buying all wood with my gold and just dropping down like 20 rams. Let's go. As many rams as you can get. And you want to hold this position. The most important thing of these mangonels stay alive. That's going to be the key factor here. You cannot let the Musafati kill them. Your town center's going down. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Focus on the landmarks. That's going to be the key factor here. You take out the landmarks and you win the game. And I think he probably knows that. Weird pathing might be in a little bit of trouble because more battering rams continue coming up. The only problem is the battering rams need to be defended. Landmark victory approaching for both players. Oh my lord. It's actually getting serious right now. I'm loving this. I'm actually loving this. He's focusing down the keep. So villager pool could be an option here. We also see veteran Sopa coming in from the east side. The units aren't really that close to the front, so he might have to fall back. Villagers do come in. We're heading into the cinematic mode, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to witness the base race unfolding. Musafati coming in over from the east side. Archers here to defend. Battering rams completely surrounded as they begin to work down that keep. It's starting to burn. Mangonel's coming through. Mangonel's coming through! Oh my lord! The villagers managed to survive. I think he misclicked on it. Didn't hit both of them on the target, but the next follow-up shot is going to go wide again. And all the villagers still remain burning down the battering rams. He's down to 3-4 battering rams. Another mangonel shot comes off. It hits the sofa. And still behind this, we can see that Weird Pathing, his score is up by a mile, but he is under threat. The keeper's gone down. And now the Farimba garrison is going to be under pressure as well. Still decent archer numbers on the backside here. Going to be able to defend the mangonels. Needs to pull them in close so that you can take advantage of the weird pathing around these landmarks after they've gone down. The sofa numbers pretty decent here. We'll enter out of the cinematic mode because it might be time. Oh, sorry about that one. It might be time for those Musafati to be coming back home. Let's have a look and see if we can find them. They're continuing to siege down the rest of the base on the south side. Landmarks alive in the corners of the map. And still he focuses on pushing. But the sofa numbers are too big right now. Weird Pathing taking advantage of his namesake and just looking to abuse the Weird Pathing, able to clean up this position on the front line. The Farimba garrison is here, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. These battering rams will go down. The cleanup crew has come. The veteran sofa has saved the day. And even though there were a good number of archers, it just wasn't enough. Fellas, I hope you've enjoyed this casted game. I'd recommend you go check out either of these two guys, but I got no idea who they are. I reckon Weird Pathing could be Donati, but I got no clue. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you once again.